All right, so following up from where we left off with the last video with regards to stylizing and so on, I just want to show you how in here we can actually, right now this doesn't look very good, just kind of right up against that logo. So you'd want to separate those. And as I was saying, you could go ahead and add just some CSS styles to that in order to make that happen. So up here where we have our styles equals width and then 80 pixels, we can also put in another style here. If you just click after that semicolon right there, then we can add, say, padding. So I can type in here, these are just regular CSS that you can just go ahead and add in there. So I'm going to say padding on the right because I want it on the right of that image. So padding on the right, and I'll just do 20 pixels. And now you see that the text has now moved away from the edge of that. So that's how you can use just your regular old CSS. If you don't know CSS, then you can kind of go in and learn it. And or you can use the bootstrap padding when we get into styles down the line here. And you can use that as well to do things like this. All right, the next thing is to go in and add, say, a tagline or something that maybe you want to have in there, as well as what we have currently with this mission services staff testimonial. And you have your logo and you have, your text kind of going there. So we could go in and add let's say a tagline. Now we would want to put that after the navigation because we don't want that to become a part of the nav bar. In other words, we don't want it a part of all of these links in here. So we would put that after the nav bar nav div tag, after it closes and before the container, because we still want it wrapped inside of this container. And we'll do that just by adding a regular old style from HTML, which is your span tag. So I'm going to do a left caret and then span space class equals, and then in quotes, my navbar text. So navbar hyphen text, and then the end of the quote, right caret. And this is where you would go ahead and type in whatever you wanted to type in for your tagline. So I'm putting in here the best in traditional and alternative medicine. And then you need to end this with your closing span tag. So left caret and then right caret. Left caret forward slash and then span and then right caret. Now you see here's your tagline in here. The best in traditional services. Now, the problem is with this is that at this stage of the game, as you close this up, with that being in here, well, now you see this is not looking very good, is it? As you close this up and you get to this point, and then you don't want it floating down below there with all of your text over here on the all of your links over there on the right. So what you would want to do is kind of add a few more classes here that we need to kind of work with regards to not just the classes on the span tag here to kind of fix that, but we also need to go up here to your actual reference that we have going here and add some what we call these D classes to be able to create these breakpoints with this particular span tag. So we're going to go up here and after your navbar brand, we're going to type in D-none. So that's telling it that when you get to a specific breakpoint that we don't want, once we get to that breakpoint that we don't want that logo and so on showing, but we do want it showing when it is at a larger break, at a larger break point. So in your browser window and so on, and even on your iPads and so on. So for that, then we'll put in here D hyphen SM hyphen inline hyphen block. And then you have your quote. So now it comes back in because we're telling it that we just want it disappearing when we get to that smaller breakpoint. So as I close this up now, you'll see now you'll have to go in and still add some others, but your logo and so on disappears, you know, when we get to this point. You may want to take out the span instead. So let's see how we can kind of work with this where we stick with having your logo still there, but instead we go in and we kind of get rid of the span class and so on. So you can do so many different ways and different things. I'll just type in here for right now down in my span class. I'm going to give it the same thing, but I'm going to instead put extra large inline block. So I'm going to do a D hyphen none space, and then we'll do the same D inline block, but instead we're going to put it on the XL. So I'm going to do D hyphen XL hyphen inline hyphen block. And now you'll see that if I kind of click down here, save that now when I close this up, you're going to get a little bit better idea of how, you know, some of the changes you can make. So now that disappears as I start getting smaller. And so you can see that now, you know, you don't have that in there. We would still want to go up here and fix kind of the logo and so on showing. I don't think that you probably want that disappearing, but you definitely want your tagline to disappear when we do that. I mean, when you add that tagline, and for your mobile devices, you've got to kind of clean that up. All right. For the next one, we're going to do drop-down menus. So I'll end this video here, and then we'll move on, and that's going to be the 0406, I believe. So you can get that